gens. But even this still gets me. Like, you can't be mad at that. There's so many people that just crap on this game for no reason. Alright, let's do this. The Division 2 is going to be in the limelight today. We're going to do some 5090 testing. It's not the normal kind of testing. For me, it's about optimization. And what is optimization? Optimization is where you are getting the best optimized quality for your performance without maximizing your performance. Well, I say that maximizing because that sounds a bit wrong. People get conflicted by that. Without hitting the absolute teetotal amount of performance you have on the table. And there's a big reason for that. A lot of people have this concept that you need to be at 100% load to play any game. And it's wrong. Because if you're at 100% load, the chances are you're overheating your hardware, which means you're getting thermal throttled. And it also means you've got no overhead. So where you're running around in like a really quiet, dead scene, and you're at maximum, load to play the game, then when things start getting busy and explosions or gunfire or you're in a race or whatever, or a busy, you name it, your GPU then has to reprioritize. And if it's already under 100% load, it's then having to start to really cut back on certain things to juggle the new load that's coming in. And that's where you start to see like frame tears, because the first thing to go will be FPS. And then it'll be like quality, shadows. You'll get pixelation in dark areas and such, which is like one of the biggest problems I find with DLS, is it does not cope very well with dark areas. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. So that's kind of like your optimization side of it. You want to be able to be at a kind of like a 3/4 level of hardware usage for the graphic settings you're pushing, and then have an abundance above for when the heavy scenes and what have you come in. Your GPU then will be able to say, oh, I've still got performance on the table, I don't need to cut back frames, I don't need to cut back quality, I can just do this in the background, chuck it in. You might see like a frame, like so in some of the testing I do or optimization I do, you'll see like 1 to 10 frame drop, and that's just generically load. And the nice thing about that I've seen with the 5090 is it's managing it really well compared to older generations of cards. So we're going to do some other things as well. Obviously Division 2 generally doesn't have any kind of like DLS. We are going to take advantage of the Nvidia control panel to maximize what we can do in the game. As far as the game's concerned, it's pushed to the max. Everything is on ultra, everything's as high as it can possibly be, and we know that the 5090 can do that. The 4080 first gen and 4080 Super could do that. So the big difference being is literally load, the FPS we're getting, how stable it is, and then what we can do with Nvidia controller in the background. And I've got some cool stuff to show you with that as well, because we do something pretty epic. Okay, so we've got temps and stuff on the screen. That's not because I'm benchmarking. I'm not a benchmarker in terms of trying to get the highest score or anything like that. It's purely so I can see temperatures, so I can see load. The game load kind of doesn't work where it shows CPU, it just shows it as 1%, where most times I'll probably be about 60%. So I've already done a few in the background. Let's go video first of all. So to outline what I'm using, I've got an i7 13700K, so I have a 5090 and it is on Gen 5 PCI Express 16 full spec, and then I've got M.2s which are Gen 4s, which are up to 6700 I believe, don't quote me on that. They're SN850X Western Digital high performance M.2s, and then we're running 32 gig of DDR5 6000 memory, and my screen is LG. It's an Ultra Gear, so it's 2560 by 1440, and it's a G-Sync monitor, which is very, very important information right there. It's not a FreeSync, it's a G-Sync. It has full G-Sync link communication to the GPU. A lot of people will argue, well, a lot of people argue about a lot of stuff because that's how they are these days. But in general, about G-Sync, FreeSync, there is a slight difference. If you're trying to gain the absolute max in terms of quality and spec out of your GPU and it has G-Sync, then it is advisable to get a G-Sync monitor. There is many people that will argue that there's no point, you can go FreeSync, but there is differences. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that argument. So let's do this. Settings, full screen. We're going to just do a native run. I'm going to show you obviously latency, RTX 12. So qualities, which you want to see. Frame limits are off. I'm going to get into that in the next couple of runs. It's just a native run with no limit. Very high, it's all high, ultra. I'm just going to flick through this because literally it is all just at max, and that includes this. Neutral lighting is on as well. Some people argue about the performance of that. It really doesn't make too much. It's just about how you see the quality of the picture in the screen or on the screen. Okay, right, let's do a benchmark. This is native. So just before I begin, on the left hand side you can see that my D3 D12, so basically the frames, is showing at 130. How I typically run most of my games is Nvidia controller controls the frame limit and how many frames and how I want the frames delivered to the screen. So I always kind of go for 120 to 130 frames, 120 to 130 frames as a minimum and a max. And then I run a VSync. VSync be it G-Sync because of the monitor. So it's like normal VSync, but it's the G-Sync version. It's communicating to the monitor. The monitor saying, "How I'm getting these frames, or I'm getting a delay in these frames, or I've got a tearing here, or can I have this, can I have that?" And they talk to each other and they support each other. The reason why I do 120, 130, it's a preference thing, but also because I do a lot of videos and stuff. Yeah, basically, I want my videos to be around 120 frames for my personal preference, and then in the videos it's so I can halve it down to 60 for videos going out to YouTube and stuff. There's a lot behind it. A lot of people would say that's silly and whatever. It's taken years of research and understanding and knowledge, and it's a small thing that a lot of people overlook. If you're trying to cram an odd number of frames down into 60, you get weird stuttering and issues. That's fundamentally what that is. But also, me personally, I'm running a 144 frame monitor. There is so little difference margin between 120, 130 to 140. It's not a problem. And the reason why it's 130, if you're saying, well, that doesn't go down to 60, is because of that 10 frame difference that I spoke about earlier when I started this video. You will see that the frame will never just stick at 130. You might be lucky, but it will never just stick. There will always be a variance, a dip in something going on. And it doesn't matter how good of a system you've got, there will always be a fluctuation in frame. So that's what that accounts for. I can take the margin of error when running it through my editing software. I can take 130 or 128 or 127 and still scale it down to a 60, and it'll be fine. There'll be no stutters or issues. Anyway, God, just expecting the backlash. Right, let's run a benchmark. Alright, not bad, 11,700. Let's come out of this. I think we peaked about 60% load on the GPU then. And one of the things that I've definitely found with the 5090s is temperature has a really big effect on how the core wants to work. Okay, so we're in the game. This is native. I say native, that's, you know, the native resolution of the monitor, so 2560 by 1440. So going back to the temperature on the core, the 5090 definitely does not like being hot. Sounds a bit silly, most GPUs don't like being hot. The 4080 could quite easily go up to like 60, 63, 64 C, and it would be very rare that it would. The 4080 Super was just an amazing card for cooling. I don't know why that card was so good, but very rare would I get up into the 60s, and it would be under like 100% load for a good 2-3 hours. And even then, when it did, the actual GPU clock would very rarely dip. Whereas on the 5090 FE, if as soon as my card goes up into the top end of the 50 to the 60C, I can guarantee my clock is going to drop from like 2700 down to about 2500. And I think it just doesn't like being hot. It's one of those things. Anyway, so enough chatter about that. We're in the game right now, just to show the quality after the bench, because that is one thing. Doing the benchmark tests, they are geared for score. They are just gonna. They're not gonna fool the. They're not gonna show the full quality of the game. Even just like this, 44% load. Well, now 50. See, it's fluctuating a little bit. Frames are just solid. 130. So basically, the hardware is just happy. It's comfortable. It's not being stressed. It's pushing the game the best it can, and it's just producing those frames. You know, there's no, for the minute there's nothing happening. If we get into a fight, big explosions, or the main thing is if we get into a dark area, that's when it really starts to hammer the GPU. A lot of people think, oh well, it's the bright scenes, colourful scenes and what have you, but really dark areas do the most. And there's a lot of like shadows and lighting rays and
detected from the control point in proximity.
What are you patrolling for, buddy? Oh no, you're stuck behind a bench. Let's see if we can get in somewhere dark. You already saw when we passed through that mansion place, the like all the different particles and stuff. Nope. Okay, so we're in one of the safe houses. I may or may not have died whilst trying to be a hero. Just, yeah, this is where it tests the GPU. Oh. So the problem I've got with DLS is in these environments, any of this dark shadows, like on the top left hand of the screen where the map is, this big dark shadow there from the pipe, all of that will get pixelated. God, this game just looks so good. This is what years of development, you know, a company that puts years and years and years of time into one game, just building on it, does. Instead of just making a game every 2 years and launching. Oh, oh, oh. You can tell I'm a bit rusty. Right, anyway, so we're going to go back to the optimisation in a minute, and the fight kicking off. Let's try and get some near some action actually. Try and load up.
control point detected.
Sounds like a big bad guy. You can see the texture of the skin, stitch on the bag. Anyway, right, stop gushing. Let's go back and carry on doing some optimisation. So we need to go back out to the front. Cool, right, we're back in. Settings. Right, so for those that have a sharp eye, you would have noticed that there's something slightly strange with my resolution. We're not on max. Even though my monitor is 2560 by 1440. So we've enabled a little option in Nvidia control panel that enables us to force the resolution higher, and it's not part of the RTX video super resolution technology either, which is AI based. It's actually part of the dynamic super resolution. So dynamic super resolution is a bit taxing to the GPU, but in older titles like this we can actually take advantage of it. So what we're going to do is we've got a couple of options. We can either go 2 times the resolution, 2.5, which is what is known as standard 4K, and then for later I've got another one which we'll do, which is quite entertaining. So we're going to go straight to the 4K. I've already done the 2 times and it's pretty good, but we'll go 4K, we're going to push it. So again, we're going to go graphics, just check that everything's still on its thing. Yep, frame limit off. We don't want to have frame limit. So the reason for this, I said I'll come back to it, and I've already kind of touched on it, is Nvidia controller is handling our frame limit. We don't want the game to start imposing its own rules for frame limit if we're forcing our own set of rules through Nvidia controller. So we turn the frame limit off, so the game thinks, hey, I'm going to request as many frames as I can possibly get, and I've got VSync on, because that, weirdly enough, when I tested it, if you turn it off, it does a few weird things, even though the controller's trying to do it. It's easier to just have that on. So the game's in alliance with the controller. Yeah, I want to sync every frame. Game's like, I'm going to ask every frame. Controller's like, you're not going to get every frame, but I'm going to give 130 minimum, 130 max. So there'll be times where you see the frames creep up a little bit. And now that we're in 4K, you can see the top left hand monitoring has shrunk down a little bit. Standard. That's going to get even smaller in the next run. Okay, so let's do another benchmark. I don't know why it doesn't keep the scores from previous. It says previous benchmark and they're gone. The last one was like 11,000 something, wasn't it? So for a native. Remember, we were on about 50-60% load. GPU temp was around the mid-40s. That's it, there goes the clock. Suddenly drops down to 2,500. Well, it's coming again. I'm actually quite amazed that it's just pegged the 130 frames solid. In testing I did the other day, oh there we go, 129, 125, 23. I was going to say it did dip. Oh, 21. We're right on that margin of going under 20. I got 119. There we go. So another 11,600, and that's for a 4K res. Still a solid. Even it says average was 130 frame, which is on our key point. 79% GPU usage, so it's not bad. The CPU is wrong. The CPU was being used on that. Okay, for giggles. For absolute giggles. I've done this before, so I know what it's going to be like, but we're going to have a laugh. We're going to do it. So the other resolution I've got is the old 5K. That's the highest option that I can go to, I think. Anyway, yeah, it is. Right, let's just not even bother talking about it and get it done, hey? Again, graphic settings, there's no cheating, there's no backhand, sleight hand, frame rate's off. Again, it's all being handled by GPU. There we go. The left hand corner, the info has shrunk again, and you can see my GPU in a menu, 99% load. 60C. So I'm going to get on and do this pretty quick, just because I'm a little bit nervous about the GPU. I'm confident that it won't melt, touch wood. %99 load. Still nailing around 100 frames though. The 59, these 5090s, if you know, this is the problem, a lot of people just don't understand what they're able to do. It's not really now as much about the hardware side. Yes, hardware, physical power, performance is still key, but what the software and what the cards can do with software now is what they excel in. Still pretty good though, 61 degrees for being near enough on the max. I don't know how well the capture software will be doing with this though. It doesn't like really high resolutions. Cool, 9,000 score. You couldn't even get that with like a 30 series card, I don't think. I can't remember that far back. I know the 980 GTX that I had struggled a bit. Or was that with Division 1? That's still silly. Just a silly score. Should we even try going into the game with this? I could be tempting fate right now. I wouldn't be playing on this resolution. It's pointless. It is. Even look at the load time. It's just like I'm physically capturing this resolution right now. I'm not even capturing it, 2560 by 1440. I'm capturing it the full res. If you're wondering how that's being done, I'm not using a capture card. I'm using direct software hardware capture. This is actually a lot smoother than I expected it to be. So we're doing 5K res on a 1440 monitor, and I'm still, for the minute, in the 100 frames. This is a bit balmy. Oh man, you can't tell me this. Like I like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 1 and 2, a bit of the modern gens, but even this still gets me. Like, you can't be mad at that. There's so many people that just crap on this game for no reason. Oh, bit of weirdness going on with the clothes there. Okay, my GPU is literally 99% load, which is kind of scary. Let's get into a fight, shall we? That was a bench shot and another one. Oh. Where did he go? Okay. No, don't worry, everything right. Okay, cool. We're not going to go in there. There's some little stutters here and there. Let's go into the darkness. Let's enjoy the particles. Still sitting at 61 degrees temp. So obviously there's two temperatures with this GPU. So the main one we get reporting on is showing 62, secondary is 76. Back up. Shoo. Who else is it? Oh.
Wait till I find you.
Nice.
I see him. Here.
Who are you fighting now? No, I don't tell us we're fighting for this checkpoint. Oh, that's a gun, don't need to worry about that.
Detected.
Can't get on that, can I?
Now.
Incoming backup request.
Yeah, let's do it.
Reinforcements incoming.
Okay, we kind of just got sidetracked and straight into fighting this. Oh, he's up there. I feel rusty. Alright, put you up there. I don't really want to go in there. Bit of a waste. I'm really geared for close range. Whoa! God, what was that? Who are they fighting? What's going on? Where the hell are you shooting at? Okay, let's get in here. Oh man. Hitting hard.
Taking care of it. Can't see him.
What are you doing all up there? Madman. What?
Vital signs critical.
We need to destroy it! Coming out! You hear me?
Let's go up.
I'll smash it! Where did he go? I see one! Coming at me!
Oh, thank you very much, rifle.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Incoming hostiles.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
Whoa. You ducked. Oh my god. What are you doing to me? Oh, we done it.
I think we've done
Pretty cool.
Let's get this area secure.
Hi, Agent.
I don't even know what I've got.
Good on supplies.
There we go. Sprayed some bins. Ooh. I'll take it. Whoa, it does not like that bit, look.
We can do this.
Oh. Okay, I better stop this in a minute. Just seems to be that bit didn't like. So fingers crossed we are okay for another minute. Yeah, it doesn't like something to do with light refract. It's right there, which is weird, in an animation. Let's get out of it. Right, let's go back to... Okay, so we're back to native. The UI on the left hand side with all their sensors has gone back to normal size, and really, do you need to run it at high resolution with this game? Questionable. Could you run it 4K if you wanted to? Questionable. In the world of optimization, where we're at now, you know, we're getting a solid, perfectly solid 130 FPS. It is super snappy. There's no kind of like weird jittering or artifacts or anything happening. The GPU is quite happily just pushing out the game, and it's a stable like 47 degrees. Echo.
Did he have anything good?
Hold on a minute and keep a lookout.
Well, anything?
That was me and my mouse doing that jitter just then.
I'm trying to figure out if any of it was worth shit.
These are so cool. I remember in Division 1 when they came out, it's just like, oh,
Gloves.
that was such a good game.
Oh, and an SMG that looks like it's in really good condition.
That guy was way too trusting.
But you didn't know you could do that, eh? Oh, did I not collect it? I keep forgetting to do that.
Did he have anything good?
Hold on a minute and keep a lookout.
Well, anything?
Oh, I must have got it.
He's carrying a bunch of gear.
I've probably missed something in your screen. It's,
Friendly control point nearby.
you've gone past it, Drake. There we go. I was expecting to have a lock on it. I'll take it. I'll take it all. Oh, why? Are they coming in here?
Are unacceptable. What's the problem? The problem is that you guys paying tribute. That's the problem. Seems pretty straightforward to me. We need food, you need protection. You think on this offer, and you think on it hard, because the next one isn't going to be nearly as generous.
Okay. Cool. Oh man, did that light really just like rock around? See, it's just these small little details that just make this game amazing. I could have Rogue Gold going, Drake spent an hour playing with a light in a game. That guy, by the way, is a legend. Doing his videos on Division 2. You should go and check his channel out. He knows his stuff when it comes to this game, in terms of taskings and everything else. Just amazing. does some amazing updates as well whenever they push out new content and tweaks and adjustments. I wish I could get back into this game fully. I think I've spent a bit too long out of it now. It'll take a long time for me to kind of like get back up to speed and follow. Like the whole of Division 1 when I started on that many moons ago, I did like a playthrough series and recorded and uploaded the whole of my story gameplay, which was huge. And then Division 2, I just at the time, with my personal life, just couldn't follow along with it. And I also I think I got into this like feeling it was a bit repetitive. Because in Division 1, well no, I think it was Division 2. Like, I'd gone through, played, finished the boss, and I'd gone up to a tier, and I was like, okay. And then it was like, rinse and repeat. The whole area's been flooded by mercs, another kind of type of mercs, and now you've got to rinse and repeat the whole game through again. And that was a point where I was just like, I've got better things I need to do. Which is unfortunate. I don't even know where I am now. Like, have I traversed? Oh, okay, I'm like way down in here. I was up there. Oh no, I was in this bit, wasn't I? Right, I think I'm going to leave it here for the optimization video that turned into a semi-part gameplay. Yeah. You can optimize it really well, even if you're like using a... Love doing that. Even if you're like on 1080 res, if you've got a strong card, like a 30, let's say you've got 3080, 3090, 4070, 4070 Ti, even a 4080 and you're playing on 1080, to be fair, if you've got a 4080 and you're playing at 1080 resolution or a 1080 monitor, it might be worth upgrade. But you can, optimizing the game well enough and using taking advantage of DSR, you can easily push the game to 2K res, and that will look miles better on a 1080 monitor. Well, I say that depending on what kind of monitor you've got. Obviously, ideally you'd want a higher frame rate monitor, but we can't all be pickers and choosers. I'm just very fortunate. You know, you get a lot of people in the comments going, oh well, you know, it's alright being rich or, you know, having the best gear. I've fought my life to have this gear, and in some way I've prioritised my life to have what I have. And as you can tell by my channel, I'm no means a big channel. I don't get monetized. I don't get anything from YouTube for the videos I do. I just do it for the love and the passion of doing it, and I have done for the last 10 something years. Okay, this is cool. So this is dark. This is what pushes the CPU, because black areas, people think, oh, black areas is just dead pixels. It is and it isn't. But not everything is just a black pixel, and you know, to be able to have all of this light reflecting off stuff, you've still got water on the floor, you've still got like that lamp reflecting off the floor. DLSS, that would just be a pixelated mess, because it does not like handling dark areas. I was going to end this, wasn't I? And I'm still playing. I'm still rambling on. This is what Division does to me. I could sit here for like another 6 hours just running around aimlessly down back corridors, alleyways, I was going to say, corridors. Is that just a fire? It's just a fire.
Civilians in distress.
Oh, I'm not going to do that. So how good is that? Yeah, the fire looks a bit... But from a distance, embers... Oh. Okay, is this going to be another battle? Oh,
Immediate medical assistance needed.
no, don't do it. Bastard.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Oh man, look at that. That was awesome. Should have burnt a little bit longer though. No, you don't. Ow, ow, oh, ow, oh, oh, oh. Oh my god, they were difficult.
Agent deceased.
I'm gonna call the video then.
Guarding the room.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learnt something from this, or you just enjoyed the content and watching me die. Please don't be salty about the 5090. So many people, as soon as you do a video these days, it's just like, oh, 5090, fake frames, saltiness, blah blah blah. Much love, guys. Drayke out.